Hello, and welcome to Once Upon a Time in Black History. I am your host, Tamara Shiloh, author, educator, and owner of the Multicultural Bookstore in Richmond, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada. You can also find us on my website at onceuponatimeinblackhistory.com. Our shows are sponsored by the Multicultural Bookstore, and if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, please send me an email at tamarashiloh@gmail.com. Alrighty then, let's get this party started.
Welcome to Once Upon a Time in Black History. My name is Tamara Shiloh, and I am your host. Thank you for joining us. Today, I am going to dive into the life of a man whose contributions to American cuisine have really gone unrecognized. His name is James Hemings. James Hemings was not just any chef. He was a master of French cuisine, a culinary pioneer, and a man who introduced dishes that are now staples of American food. Yet for centuries, his name remained in the shadows. James Hemings was born into slavery in 1765 in Virginia. He was owned by Thomas Jefferson and was the older brother of Sally Hemings, a figure often discussed in connection with Jefferson's legacy. But James had his own extraordinary story. At just 19 years old, James was selected by Jefferson, who was the U.S. minister to France, to travel to France in 1784. France was at the height of its culinary excellence, and Jefferson wanted James to learn from the best. While in Paris, James trained under master chefs, learning the techniques and recipes that would redefine American dining. It's important to note that in France, James was technically free since slavery was outlawed there. He could have remained in Europe, but he chose to return to the U.S. with Jefferson, on one condition. Jefferson agreed to free him once he trained another chef to take his place. While in France, James also learns to speak French fluently. Back at Monticello, James put his skills to work, blending French techniques with American Southern ingredients. Many of the dishes we associate with Jefferson, like macaroni and cheese, crème brûlée, and French-style whipped potatoes, were actually introduced by James. He was one of the first chefs in the U.S. to create a culinary fusion that still influences our food today. Think about that for a moment. Macaroni and cheese, a dish beloved by millions, has its roots in the kitchen of James Hemings by way of France. His culinary influence extended beyond Monticello. When Jefferson became the nation's first Secretary of State, James cooked for dignitaries and foreign guests in Philadelphia, helping shape the early tastes of America's elite. True to his promise, Jefferson granted Hemings his freedom in 1796 after he trained his younger brother Peter Hemings to take over the kitchen. As a free man, James worked as a chef in Philadelphia and Baltimore, earning a living for his extraordinary skills. But despite his freedom, his life took a tragic turn. In 1801, at just 36 years old, James was found dead, reportedly by suicide. The reasons remain unclear, but some historians believe that the struggles of being a free Black man in early America, along with personal hardships, contributed to his untimely death. For over 2 centuries, James Hemings' name was nearly lost to history. But today, his contributions are finally being recognized. Historians and chefs alike are working to restore his legacy, acknowledging his role in shaping American cuisine. In 2019, the James Hemings Society was established to honor his memory and bring awareness to the stories of enslaved chefs who left a lasting mark on food culture. His influence is also featured in culinary documentaries and historical exhibits. Now remember, the next time you enjoy a comforting plate of mac and cheese or a rich crème brûlée, take a moment to remember James Hemings, the slave chef who brought French culinary artistry to America. Well, that's it for today's episode of Once Upon a Time in Black History. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to share and leave a review. Until next time, I'm Tamara Shiloh. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Once Upon a Time in Black History. For more information on this topic and others, visit the Multicultural Bookstore at multiculturalbookstore.com. And again, if you want to advertise in our podcast for a mere $25, please contact me at tamarashiloh@gmail.com. See you next time.